When my sister told me I deserved to lose my baby, I stayed quiet. 3 weeks later, she lost everything. 2 years of fertility treatments drained our savings and our spirits. Daniel learned to give me the injections. I learned to smile when friends announced pregnancies. We'd turned the guest room into a nursery I could barely look at. Then finally, our miracle. 2 lines. I sank to the bathroom floor, shaking, and Daniel found me and held me on the cold tile. But my sister Priya had always competed with me. Better grades, prettier dress, bigger wedding. When I shared our news, she instantly announced, "What a coincidence, I'm pregnant too." Of course she was. At family dinners, she'd compare symptoms loudly. 0 morning sickness. It's so easy for me. Our mother fawned over her while I fought to keep food down. Then, at 10 weeks, it ended. I couldn't stop apologizing to Daniel like I'd failed him. Priya came to the hospital, sat on my bed and said, "Maybe your body just knows when something's wrong. Some people aren't meant to be mothers." She rubbed her own belly as she said it. 6 months later, I was pregnant again. We told no one for 8 weeks, but somehow Priya knew. "You're glowing," she said at lunch, her hand on my stomach before I could stop her. "Trying again. So brave after your failure." That word, like my baby, was a failed test. This time, I made it to 12 weeks, and then I didn't. Priya came to the house, 7 months along and radiant, sorting my mail like she owned the place. "Maybe you should stop. It's getting pathetic. You're traumatizing yourself and Daniel." She left a bag of maternity clothes for when you accept reality and just adopt. Daniel threw them out the second she left. Here's the part I didn't understand until later. Both of my treatment cycles had failed for reasons the clinic couldn't explain. Doses that seemed off, an appointment I'd supposedly canceled but never had, records that didn't match what I remembered being told. My reproductive endocrinologist had actually apologized, baffled, saying my chart looked like it had been edited. I'd been too deep in grief to chase it. Then, at a family Thanksgiving, I mentioned we might try one more round. Priya lit up in that particular way. "After everything? You'll just keep hurting yourself." She followed me to the bathroom, pretending to comfort me, and her bag fell open on the counter. Inside was a lanyard, a badge from my own fertility clinic. Priya was a scheduling coordinator at a hospital, but I had never once known her to set foot in mine. My hands went cold. I photographed it before she came back. That night, I couldn't sleep. I called the clinic's patient advocate the next morning and asked, plainly, whether my records had been accessed by anyone outside my care team. It took 2 weeks and a formal audit. What came back turned my stomach. My sister had used a professional login, borrowed through a contact at a shared health network, to get into my file more than a dozen times over 2 years. She'd altered appointment notes, canceled a monitoring visit at a critical point in my first cycle, the one where timing was everything, and forged a note saying I'd chosen to skip it. She'd fed my endocrinologist bad information through the system, small changes that quietly wrecked cycle after cycle, then covered her tracks in the notes. She hadn't been able to give my baby's life through a needle, but she'd made sure my chance kept slipping away, and then sat on my hospital bed and told me it was because I wasn't meant to be a mother. I gave the clinic everything. They escalated it. Unauthorized access to protected medical records, tampering, forgery, and it went to their legal team and then to the authorities. The evidence was all there in the audit logs, time-stamped in her own credentials. They came for her at our nephew's birthday party. Officers walked past the balloons and the cake and took her out in front of everyone. Our mother fainted. Our father sat down hard on the lawn. Priya screamed at me across the yard that I was jealous, that I couldn't let her have anything. She lost her hospital job that week, her access to any healthcare system revoked permanently. Her husband, blindsided, filed for divorce. She's facing serious charges. Our mother still somehow chose her. How could you destroy your sister? And I've made my peace with the fact that I can't fix that. 2 weeks later, she called me from a blocked number. Why, was all I asked. She didn't have a real answer. Just that she couldn't stand watching me get the one thing she decided was hers to be best at. Daniel and I are starting again this spring, at a new clinic, in a new city, with locks on everything. The losses will always be with me, but I know now they were never my body failing. They were her, and she will never touch our lives again.